Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Horror Trans. I am Stephanie Bree. I am a transgender woman. I talk about all things horror. And today we're doing The Meg. This is a monster movie from recent times, just a few years ago, 2018, 19, 20, 20, somewhere in that ballpark. Relatively new movie. Already had a sequel. So The Meg is more of an action adventure film, to be honest, than an actual horror film. But it does have some legit scares, and it is a giant shark, and sharks are scary. It's actually a megalodon, which is a prehistoric shark. Now, I'm just gonna say this. This is to my fans of monster movies. Um, if you like monster movies, big giant monsters terrorizing people, this is right up your alley. It doesn't get out of the water. So this is no Godzilla. But like Jaws, there's a lot of terrifying moments in this movie. They're not as memorable. The scary moments aren't as memorable as the scary moments in Jaws, to be fair. But anytime you're talking about a shark or a giant shark or anything shark related, you're gonna talk about Jaws because it was the first. And let's be honest, still to this day, the best. Lanson's did stay lit. Um, so the gist of the movie is it's a group of scientists working for some company, and I don't remember what the company does or what's their interest in the trench, but they're exploring this really deep undersea trench somewhere in the ocean off the coast of an Asian country somewhere around Korea, I think, but I don't remember specifically. Um, and what you have is you have a guy played by Jason Statham who is a undersea explorer, I guess. Take a little pod down under the trench to see what's down there. And we get some really cool shots of the trench and the prehistoric life floating around the ecosystem. But then somehow crossing the barrier opened a door and let a megalodon out. And so they basically spend the rest of the movie either trying to capture or kill the Meg before it kills literally everybody on the beach, which it goes fucking hog wild and it does attack the beach because you got to have a shark uh attack the beach scene in a shark attack movie because why not? What else are you going to do? So, let's talk a little bit about the kills. They're pretty quick. This is more again of an action adventure movie. So the Meg just opens its mouth and chomps people whole. I mean, it just goes fucking nuts. It knocks over some boats. It destroys, um, I mean, it just fucks the place up. Now, as a action movie, this is a top-notch action movie. It's got explosions and chase scenes and acrobatics and all kinds of crazy shit. The plot is irrelevant, as is often the case with these types of movies. The plot is the Meg gets out, they have to chase it. That's the plot. The characters are irrelevant. They're either there to be killed or they're there to be, you know, the action star, or they're just extras that are there for, plot contrivances that don't make any fucking relevance. They don't matter. They're just there. But it's a fun movie. Not as a horror movie, as a monster movie. The Meg is fucking terrifying. And there are a couple of scenes where you have a false sense of security where they're like, oh, we're safe. And then The Meg can't get us, and then all of a sudden it breaks through, and they're like, "Oh shit, we're fucked." Now there's some beeline plot about the company. It's not important in this movie. It comes back in the sequel, but we'll talk about the sequel when we get there. Um, if you like shark movies, which you should, if you're a horror fan or a monster movie fan, or if you like monster movies, then The Meg is right up your alley. I I don't put movies on a star scale or a letter grade. I don't give them a grade. I just give it a rent or a buy. And I'm gonna say the Meg is a buy. This is a movie you're gonna want to rewatch from time to time. This is a good addition to your summer, you know, June and July, summertime movies. When it's lake season. This is a good movie to watch. With Jaws and Friday the 13th and some of those other good campy summertime lake monster movies. Of all the shark movies I've seen, Jaws is still number one. But I'm gonna say The Meg is number two. This shot up. This shot way the fuck up at the top of the list. It's campy, but it's not cheeseball like Sharknado or Two Headed Shark Attack or Sharks of the Corn, which we'll get to. um, but it's fun, and that's what you want. A fun. This is a fun summer blockbuster that's about a terrifying horror monster that's going to kill people. Um, there is a sequel, which we'll talk about in a future video. Um, but they do kind of set up for the sequel in this movie, but they also kind of it could have ended here. It has a, I would say, relatively satisfying ending. So they didn't necessarily need a sequel, but whatever. But it's a fun movie, and I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it yet, you should, and if you've already seen it, then you know it's got the goods. Stay cool.